So we're here with Scott and Becky. We just got done working for 2 days here. They have a beautiful property and lots of trees missing now. And so I just asked them to share a couple things. First, you told me a story about the house over there. They live in this one, and this was a house that was put on the property. You just want to just quickly share how that came about?
Well, the story that I had heard was that it came from the 2 miles down the road to the north, where there used to be a teacherage. And so the man that bought this acreage here, he moved that house down the road 2 miles with horses and logs or poles, and moved it down. He said it took him 2 weeks, and he brought it down the road, which is 2 miles, and then a little bit over here, and built this house and set it over here. And then he lived in this house, the little house, while he was building the big house. And so then he finished the basement of the big house. Then they moved in because there's a kitchen and everything in the basement, and then he did the upstairs, and then he did the middle floor last. And so he didn't believe in borrowing money, and so he built things as he could afford it, and so that's just part of how he did it. So all the buildings here were built kind of that same time, and the trees were planted about the same time too.
He loved trees.
He loved trees, he did. And when he would go someplace and visit, he would come back with a tree or two and plant a tree. And so there was, I don't know, my son counted the trees after the storm and thought we had around 300 trees, and maybe around 200 of them were damaged in one fashion or other, whether branches or broken or whatever. So lots of trees.
Well, I just kind of wanted to share that story about the house because there's a lot of history on each place, each rural place. So thanks for sharing that. So can you just quickly describe what it's like for a farmer to deal with the impact of the derecho?
Well, there's lots of things going on. I mean, obviously it affects all your buildings, all your what you've worked for your, you know, the farm's been in our family for 150 years, and all the buildings are gone. These are ones that went at the home place, they're all gone, or they were destroyed. And so you have to start all over, and you think about that, you know, what you have to do to rebuild all those things. And then that's just the buildings, and then the trees, and then this year's crops are, the corn is, most of the corn around here has been zeroed out from crop damage. I mean, some fields you have to do a little bit, and what little bit we did was around 50 or 60 bushels an acre of the corn, and that's about what we're hoping to get the beans. I guess they're saying the beans are doing that, so that's doing well. But that'll be an impact for next year with all the volunteer corn and everything that'll be in the fields for next year, and the trash and the pickup and the cleanup. And are you doing all that while you're trying to farm and do your other things and clean up around here? So what these guys do is
I was
awesome.
going to take over from that, because the weight of the farm is on his shoulders, and I mean, it just falls on his shoulders. I was praying for somebody to come and help us with all these trees, and then you guys stopped and showed up, so that was amazing.
Well, thank you guys. It was a pleasure meeting you, and we need to keep in touch.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
You did a wonderful job.
Good morning. We are at Scott and his wife's farm. We are by Keystone, Iowa still. It's about 8 miles pretty much straight east this morning, and they had probably 40-50 trees that need to be removed. They have done a lot of work. Some of their neighbors have helped, but just so overwhelming to them. Give you a quick shot of some of the damage. So we are basically cutting trees down today, or there's a couple of big ones that need to be cleaned up. They cleaned up most of what was on the ground, which is about half of what needs to be done. And the trees that we're cutting down are ones that have been broken off to the point where they're not going to survive. We're here at Scott's house, just finishing up. Sun's starting to go down. It's about 6 o'clock. But I thought we'd go around and count how many trees we cut down. 1 tree, 2, 3, 4, 45, 46. And here was the very last one we cut down, 47. So at least 47 trees in 2 days. Now, some of you might ask why we're cutting down trees. Are we just cleaning people's property, the stuff that dropped in the ground? But all the trees we cut down look like that. Half the tree is broken off. And these pine trees will not survive. Or if they do, they're just not going to be much of a tree. So everything we cut down is pretty much half a tree. Chipper, what'd you find?
Dayton found me a grub.
Is that a mid-morning snack?
No, not this time.
So tell me about the story where you ate one.
Now there's two. Another one. Yuck. Golly, that looks gross.
Does that bring back good memories?
Yeah, no, not great memories.
So you did eat one in Peru.
Yeah, it was probably both of those combined in size. Yeah, we were raising money, and we'd raised $10,000, and I had said, if we raise $10,000, I'll eat a grub. Yeah, so I did. It was it was pretty much like that, except for bigger. They eat them down in Peru. They fry them, but they didn't let me fry mine. They just said you got to eat it raw. Yeah. It actually, if I'm honest, it didn't taste that bad. It mostly tasted like blood. It was just kind of the idea of what the heck I was chewing and chewing and chewing and
Okay,
chewing
that's enough,
and
Dave.
chewing.
Or Chipper, that's enough, Chipper. That's enough.
He knows.
We're having a little
How high should I put it?
afternoon entertainment
You
here.
ready? Oh, there's Scout. Scout, right?
Yeah, Scout.
Here you go. Hey, Scout, right here. Right here. Right here. Too short, bud. Can you get it? Come on.
Oh, he was jumping earlier. There we go.
I heard him.
That's how we entertain ourselves out here. I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but we parked the truck next to a cattle barn and left the windows
Look at
open.
this, the ceiling.
Look
back
at the roof.
Look at the ceiling.
Quite a few flies.
That's a few
So we're gonna have some fun on the way home.